Hi, I'm Shelley Wood and this is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. Today I'm going to show you how to sew a simple party dress to fit multiple versions of what we would think of as the modern Barbie, as well as the older 11.5-inch Disney princess dolls. These are the taller ones. The Queens of Africa dolls, and even your vintage Barbie dolls. But before we begin, please do go to shelleywood.com to download this free printable PDF sewing pattern. Use the pattern to cut out all the pieces shown. Align the dart cuts with right sides facing and sew the darts. Do this on both sides of your bodice. For both of the bodice fronts, we have 2 bodice fronts, and now you'll have 2 identical bodice fronts. Here's how they look from the right side. Such a pretty fabric. Lay one bodice front on top of another, keeping right sides together so the pretty side touches the pretty side. Sew across the neck and both of the arm areas. Here's a close-up of the right armhole. It's hard to see my stitches, but I'm trying to get in close. Here's the neckline and then the left armhole so you can see those stitches. Clip the neck and armhole seams like you see me doing here. Be very careful that you don't cross your seam. Invert the bodice front. Now I like to use a chopstick to help me with inverting, and you'll see that in this next video segment. I give it a little twist as I poke out those straps. Press the seams. Now let's work with the back bodice pieces. Lay one back on top of another, keeping those right sides or pretty sides together again, and sew around the armhole area plus the neckline and the back closure area. Here I'm using some yellow thread for a little better visibility. But honestly, you should stick to a thread that matches your fabric. That's ideal. Follow these directions for both back pieces. So again, the armhole, neck, and then the back closure. Clip your seams and corners, which is what I'm doing here, clipping those seams and corners. Then invert these 2 pieces as well, and that's what I'm doing here. Now press your seams. Lay one of the back pieces on top of the bodice front and sew across the shoulder area. I'm using a backstitch to do this. You could use a sewing machine. Follow suit with the other back piece, again stitching across. Open your garment up like this and press those shoulder seams open. Now, children learning to press will need adult supervision. Your garment should look like this on the wrong side and then like this on the right side. The difference is where the seam is. Lay a back piece on top of the bodice front, keeping again those right sides together. Sew down the side seam. Now fold the other back down against the front and again sew the side seam just like you did before. It should look like this. Flip it right sides out, just like you see me doing here. Set it aside for a little bit and let's work with the skirt now. Hem one long side of your skirt. Begin by folding one of the really long sides of the skirt just once, and then a second time, and then you're going to stitch the hem. Now you can hem it on a sewing machine. You can also do the whip stitch. Your skirt should look like this now. Opposite of the hem, on the opposite side of the skirt, you're going to gather the fabric. Here's my skirt so far. Don't tie off your gathers though until you get a chance to pin it. Once you pin the skirt to the bodice, then you can tie your gathers. Now when you're pinning, leave a 1 centimeter overhang of skirt on both sides of the bodice. See how that overhangs? We'll use these as a closure for the skirt. Attach the skirt to the bodice. I'm using a backstitch here. If you need help with the backstitch, I have a tutorial for that. Now flip the bodice part up, and when you do this, it will automatically fold the top portion of the skirt down. So you're going to create a back closure in the skirt, folding once and then a second time to create a sort of a back closure area. And then either sew it with a whip stitch or using a sewing machine to create this closure. Create a back closure on both sides of the skirt. Fold the dress in half, bringing the skirt together with right sides touching like you see here. Stitch from the back closure to the hem or from the hem to the back closure. Turn the dress right side out and add some snaps in the back. Now you're ready to try it on a doll. For more free printable sewing patterns for making doll clothes that will fit dolls of many shapes and all different sizes, please remember to visit my website, shelleywood.com. Hi, I'm Shelley Wood, and this is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. It's time for a class update. My class has been designed around your frequently asked questions, the questions you send me over Gmail. And mostly what I'm trying to do is show you how to use doll measurements to alter patterns you already own in this class. So it doesn't matter if you are sewing for an 18-inch doll, an 11-inch doll, a 10-inch doll, an 8-inch doll, even smaller than that. Use your doll measurements with the patterns you already own, and you'll learn how to lengthen and shorten skirts and pants patterns. You'll also get my magic resizing formula, which shows you how to take a doll clothes pattern that's too small for your doll and make it bigger. Or vice versa, how to take a big pattern and make it smaller to fit your doll. So these techniques will work for all different sizes of dolls, and I am so excited to be involved with Creative Spark in making this great class for you guys. We're going to do all kinds of ways to alter patterns just so that you can build a wardrobe of your dreams.